My name is Katie Katsikis Carr, and I will be discussing strategies for de-escalating upset customers. Customer service roles often handle emotionally charged situations, so giving professionals the tools to communicate effectively benefits both the customer and the organization. I will walk through why escalations happen and practical steps to navigate it. I have worked in customer service for more than 20 years across several industries. Today, I support and train colleagues who deal with complex issues and, of course, escalated customers. These experiences have shown me how essential emotional regulation and communication are during difficult conversations. De escalation skills also influence how we interact with people in everyday life. Before we start talking about strategies, it's important to understand the customer's mindset. Understanding this gives us space to respond with empathy rather than defensiveness. Research also shows that customers sometimes use anger strategically because it can influence the outcome of their complaint. If we can move the customer past that to feeling understood, they may become more receptive to problem solving rather than focusing on the problem alone. At some point, we've all dealt with a service issue that left us frustrated or stuck. Research on customer experience shows that events along the customer's journey can evoke emotional responses such as frustration. These emotions enter the conversation long before the representative speaks. Customer service becomes the face of the company, meaning a single interaction can shape a customer's impression of the entire organization. Escalations are often emotional, not just technical. Even though customers feel overwhelmed or out of control, research shows that customers are not passive in experiencing emotions, with no possibility of controlling their emotional experiences. Understanding this gives us space to respond with empathy rather than defensiveness, so we can give the customer the opportunity to mirror our behaviors. And interestingly, research shows that customers sometimes use anger strategically because it can influence the outcome of their complaint. Keeping that in mind, we can refocus the customer from this mindset to help them move more towards receptive problem solving. If we respond to anger with a neutral tone and maintain composure, we're keeping the playing field level. Constructive communication is truly the heart of de escalation. Effective de escalators are open, honest, supportive, self aware, coherent, non judgmental, and confident without appearing arrogant. These behaviors help reduce emotional intensity and create room for problem solving. The first step in de escalation is helping the customer feel heard. Listening goes beyond simply waiting for your turn to speak. As Brant Menswar notes, the truly good listeners of the world actually do more than just listen. They listen, seek to understand, and then validate. Validation communicates that the customer's feelings matter without necessarily agreeing that they're right. Simple phrases such as, I hear you, or I understand why you feel that way, can significantly shift the tone. The second step is validation, which is essentially letting the customer know that their feelings do matter. You see, most people do not hear a lot of validating statements in their everyday life, and it can truly turn a conversation around. And it's not to say that the customer is always right, it's that their experience matters and you are with them in that moment. Customers tend to mirror a representative's emotional energy, so staying calm, steady, and respectful helps guide the conversation back to a manageable level. This step can build trust and shows the customer you're genuinely engaged with them. Once the customer feels heard and validated, you can then begin reframing the conversation. And that brings us to the third and final step, reframing. Reframing moves the customer from venting to focusing on solutions. LinkedIn Learning explains that reframing is a tool you can use to shift the conversation when your customer is stuck blowing off steam about a problem they've experienced, turning it into a focus on fixing the issue. This technique focuses attention on what can be done next rather than what went wrong before. De escalation is about more than calming someone down. It involves listening, validating, and reframing the conversation so that progress becomes possible. When handled with empathy and confidence, customers can feel supported and the company earns their trust. These skills benefit both the people doing the work and the customers receiving the service. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this topic that is so foundational to working in the customer service industry. I hope these strategies give insight into how emotional communication, validation, and reframing can transform difficult interactions into productive ones. Strong customer service is a partnership between the customer, the representative, and the organization. Everyone benefits when we approach escalation with skill and intention. In this presentation, I discussed why customer anger escalates, how de-escalation strategies help manage these moments, and why leadership support is important for everybody's success. Through these strategies, we can see how active listening, emotional regulation, and tactile communication can transform difficult interactions into productive ones. Thank you.